Hello, hello, Melissa May Dillon here, your insurance exam queen. And if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below if you have any questions. And if you're watching this live right now, we are on Facebook. So I only have a few minutes. I am about to interview with another insurance agent who has a YouTube channel, David Duford, and I'm super excited. He does final expense. But anyway, stay tuned for that. I saw a post the other day that said, I feel like I'm going to give up. I've tried a million times to pass. I can't seem to pass. This is obviously not for me. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I've also had a few other people come into my world. Especially, we had a 2-day study stuffing session, and there was a person who had been studying. They came to that session, and then they still failed again. And we had some conversations. And this and I want to, and I've been introduced, more and more things like this have been coming to me because it means it's time for me to talk about it. So I don't always publicly talk about this, but obviously I'm being drawn to do it. So there are a lot of people who find themselves in a situation where no matter how much studying they do, they cannot pull off a pass. And it's not really, it comes down to that it's not actually about studying. There's I'm closing out some tabs, so it told me I had too many tabs open with the live video. So I have found that in my journey as the insurance exam queen, that when I come across a person who has studied everything they need to study, they've learned everything they need to learn. When I ask them questions, they can give me answers, but they keep failing the exam. I have found that they are not passing the exam because there is something that is blocking them or preventing them from being able to do so. And it always comes down to emotional or a mental thing that they're dealing with that is preventing them to pull off a pass. So I'll share a handful of stories, and these people are here. They can say if it's them or not. I'm not going to call anyone out by name. But one of the first stories that came to me was this was a person who was working with me one-on-one back when I was offering one-on-one. I mean, we had like Zoom sessions every other day. We were talking to each other. They had access to ask me questions all the time. And no matter how much studying they did, no matter how many answers they had, they could not pull off a pass. And I began working with this person to talk to them about, like, what do you think, what is going on with you when you sit down and you go to take the exam? We started digging into their emotional and their mental state when they were sitting to take the exam. And eventually many things popped up. The fact that the school they went to as a childhood there was always shame at school. Like, you're not doing the right thing, you're doing the wrong thing, you're in trouble, you're always bad. And so there was just this like block about being able to achieve and be successful. And it was preventing them from being able to pass the exam. So as we dug into that and we worked on that, and we worked on, feeling better about, as a person, and taking the weight off of the pressure of this exam, this person was able to pull off a pass. Another person that I worked with was they had already had one license, and they were working on getting their other license, and they knew how to pull off a pass. Like, they had it half done. And I was talking to them, and they're like, I'm so excited. I have this new opportunity. I'm going to be able to run my own agency. I'm going to get to be my own boss. It's going to be so freaking amazing. I just need to pass this exam, and I don't know why I can't pass. I'm doing everything I can to pass. And I had a conversation with this person because I mean, like, anytime someone's struggling to really pass, and they're doing the work and they're doing everything they need to do, it does intrigue me. Like, I want to talk with them. So we were talking, and I started digging in about the potential of them having their own agency. And through a conversation, we uncovered that they were actually terrified at the thought of running their own business. And so subconsciously, the mind that you're not aware of, you have a subconscious mind. Subconsciously, they were sabotaging their success on being able to pass. Ultimately, they were so afraid of running their own business that their mind was blocking them from pulling off a pass, so that they couldn't be in a situation where they had to run their own business. It was sabotaging their own success. So we worked on the fears of, not being able to, what that means. What does it mean to have your own business? What is that? Are you capable? Are you strong? Can you handle this? Is this what you really want? And so we started digging into, the reasons about being able to be a boss and have their own agency and stuff. And after she worked through it, she passed her exam. Another person that I was working with, they were part of the Platinum group, which I no longer offer, but they were part of Platinum, so they were able to ask me questions. And this person was like, I failed again. I failed again. I failed again. And there was one part where they said, I failed again. I feel like I could cry. And I was like, cry? Why aren't you crying? Like, cry. And they're like, no, I've got, and because there's a couple of things. One, so like when you work with me, because to be fair, with this person, they failed a few times. And I said, are you going to allow the failure to decide that you're a failure? What kind of attitude are you going to have again? Are you going to say, I'm going to do this no matter what? Like, there is a balance where you have to have this mindset of, I can accomplish this. I can do this no matter what. But then there is also like, if we keep getting a fail and we keep getting a fail, then it's a conversation where, okay, what else is under here? So while in one side of the conversation with this person, I said, what attitude are you going to take? Are you going to take the attitude of a failure? Or are you going to take the attitude of, I'm going to do this no matter what? So they said, I'm going to do this no matter what. And they worked on that mindset. And then they took the test again and they failed again. And I was like, okay, I think it's time for you to cry. And I brought up the same thing. I said, when I meet a person who fails, no matter how much they've studied, it usually is a mental or an emotional thing. I think you need to cry. I think your body is trying to invite you to an opportunity to cry, and it's going to make you fail until you're willing to cry. And they're like, whatever. They kind of actually ignored it. They didn't even talk about it. And then they failed again. And they keep bringing back questions that they want to ask me and things about the exam. And they failed again. And I brought it up. I said, you've ignored me a few times when I've talked about that this could be a mental or emotional thing. I think it's time that you just cry. So this person ultimately started crying. And they messaged me, they said, I'm crying. It's not stopping. What do I do now? And I said, keep crying, get some cocoa, wrap a blanket around yourself, take care of yourself, take a warm bath, watch a sad movie, let the feelings move through you, let the feelings go, allow it to just move. Like, there's something that needs to come up. And this exam is an opportunity for your emotions to be able to say, we need to come out, we need to get out. And they cried and cried and cried and cried. And then the next few times they took a test, they pulled off a pass. I think she's actually, they're still taking one today too. So, because there's lots of, depending on what state you're in, you have like 4 different exams you have to take. So anyway, I want to invite you to an opportunity where you can talk to me about potentially what is holding you back from a pass. This is not, we're going to talk about homeowners. We're going to talk about life insurance policies. We're going to talk about what's going on inside you. This is your heart space, your mental space, your emotional space. We're going to uncover what potentially could be blocking you from a pass. And it's usually an emotional or a mental thing. So I decided that I initially thought about like going live and inviting people. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it kind of anonymous. So it's going to be a Zoom meeting where you can join the Zoom meeting, and I'm going to record it. But your name will not be seen, your video will not be seen, your picture will not be seen. It'll just be me having a conversation with the person. It'll be like, like TV, like radio show. Like, think about, as for you, it's going to feel like you're on a radio show where you just call in and you talk to me, but no one knows who you are. No one knows, anything. You're not going to have to share your name or anything like that. So this will be a way of invitation, an invitation for you to begin talking about potentially what is mentally or emotionally blocking you from being able to pull off a pass. It's going to be this Wednesday, so in 2 days from now at 5 p.m. Central Time. So Wednesday, December 18th at 5 p.m. Central Time. I'll make sure the link is under here so that you can register. I don't know how many people are going to show up. I don't know if every single person is going to get an opportunity to be able to talk, but I do know whatever conversations we do end up having, I think it's going to be pretty powerful. After it's recorded, after we've had the class, I am going to publish the interview, the conversations on the YouTube channel, because I believe it's going to benefit a lot of people. Because at the root of it, most of us are carrying the same stuff. We all feel like we're not good enough. We feel like we're not valuable enough. We feel like we're too stupid to pull off a pass. And if we can dig into those problems, if we can go after them, then we can figure out what it is we need to do mentally and emotionally to clear up so that we can make our way into a pass. So the invitation is open again, Wednesday, December 18th at 5 p.m. CST. That's 6 p.m. Eastern time. And it's about opening your heart and finding out, what is mentally or emotionally blocking you from pulling off a pass, and let's get that pass. So I love you all, sending you all the loves, all the vibes to pass the exam. I'm going to go off to do my interview with David Duford. You guys have an amazing day. Bye.